My friend hooked up with the girl I liked, and I can't accept it.
Don't. You don't need to.
I'm gonna live in a dream. So, last year, my freshman year of college, I lived in a suite-style dorm. It's a regular dorm building, but with a living room, 4 bathrooms, and 4 individual rooms. Sometimes 2 people share a room, so the max was 5 people in the suite. One of my randomly assigned suite mates was Andy. We hit it off right away, and over time we became close, and eventually formed a decent-sized friend group with others in our grade. By the way, this comes from user LazyHuckleberry598, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Together, we took trips, went to concerts, and hit every party. By the end of freshman year, the group had really solidified, especially since we were all working towards similar goals. We constantly uplifted each other and kept each other on track academically. For me, it was the first time I truly felt like I had a group that made me a better person. During freshman year, I had a pretty big crush on a girl I'll call Layla. She wasn't really in the core friend group, but I knew a lot of people in it, sort of on the outskirts. We spent a lot of freshman year together, hanging out and grabbing food, blah, blah, blah. During this time, Andy helped me a lot and gave me advice because I wasn't really experienced when it came to dating. Toward the end of freshman year, I finally made a move and feelings weren't really reciprocated, which made things awkward between us, but eventually moved past it. Due to some rumors, I thought maybe there was still something there, but after a conversation with her at the start of sophomore year, we both agreed that just being friends was best. Andy, being my best friend, knew all about this, and as it was happening, I kept him updated and asked for advice constantly. Before winter break of sophomore year, our friend group planned a surprise cake and ice cream celebration for 2 people whose birthdays were during the break. Since none of us would be on campus then, this was our only chance to celebrate. I thought we should invite Layla, since she was close to these 2 as well. I didn't think much of it, but I had forgotten her birthday was also over the break. We met up with her first and then went to our friend's room to sing happy birthday. Layla felt hurt because no one acknowledged her birthday during the celebration. The blame ended up mostly on me, since I was the one who invited her, but honestly, everyone else knew when her birthday was and no one said anything. After this, things got awkward again between us. She said she was really hurt and wanted some distance, which I understood. Man, girlfriend confusion and birthday parties. What a classic combo. Second semester, I barely saw Layla, and that was fine. But I even talked to Andy about how weird things were feeling between us. I didn't like the tension. I was uncomfortable whenever she was around, which was often since she hung out with our group a lot. Around that time, Andy was having issues with his roommate. He was sharing a double room, so I offered my single room to his roommate and moved in with Andy, since we're best friends. One night, I was coming back late from spring break around midnight or 1 a.m., and I noticed Andy wasn't in our room. I checked his location and saw he was in the dorm building connected to ours in someone's room. I figured he was just doing a classic college hookup and went to bed. The next morning, he told me he fell asleep in Layla's room after helping her move back in and talking. I felt like something was off. If he was tired, why not just come back to our room, which was only a 2-minute walk? I shared this with 2 friends from our group, Alice and Heather, just to vent and get perspective. They thought it was strange and agreed I should talk to Andy about it. A few days later, coincidentally, Andy brought up the Layla situation too. He admitted they had been flirting for weeks, and he went over to see if something more was there. They ended up hooking up. He said they didn't have spicy sleep, but did other things, which I had to pry out of him. I asked if anything happened. He said, I don't think that would be productive for the conversation. I had to keep asking him until he finally told me. But brother, I think he was right. I don't think that's productive for the conversation. That's just like, you're like, hurt me more. And he's like, right. Brother, dude, I'm trying not to hurt you.
Exactly. He's
like, no, hurt me.
Please. Yeah, you don't need to know all of the details. You just need to know that it happened.
Yeah. At the end of our talk, I told him he betrayed my trust and should have talked to me before anything happened. I didn't really care that it happened, but I just wish he would have said something because this just makes things more uncomfortable for me, you know? It's obviously not my place to know their business, but if he was going to tell me anyway, I feel like he should have said something before. During this talk, he also mentioned that when he was talking to Layla, he brought up how it might make things weird for me and how he needed to talk to me before they took things further, but he still hooked up with her anyway. In the following weeks, I started distancing myself from Andy. I also told another friend, Xander, since he, Andy, and I had been planning to get an apartment next year. I didn't want Xander stuck scrambling for housing last minute. I also knew I didn't want to share a space with Andy after this, and I didn't want Xander to have to choose between us for housing. Eventually, I told the rest of the group. The only reason I told them was because I knew that the whole dynamic of the group would shift since I didn't want to spend time around Andy, and since we pretty much formed the group, I knew that there would be a lot of effects from this, and I didn't want my friends to think I was just distancing myself for no reason. This is a classic young guy, mistake.
Yeah, putting the friendships over himself.
I feel like it's more of just like the way he's going about it. Like he's like, I didn't want things to be weird.
Yeah.
So I immediately made a weird situation for the entire group to deal with.
Right. It's like you kind of just have to power through the weird and hopefully other people understand because it's not like your fault, right?
I think honestly, you're taking it. Maybe understand it's a personal thing, but like it doesn't really sound like you two ever really dated in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not like y'all were in love with each other and had a bad breakup, and then your buddy who you'd been venting to about it then went and hooked. Like that's like a all right, see you never. You're no longer my friend, Andy.
Yeah.
But this is more like a hey, you had a crush on this girl, it didn't work. I started feeling some things with this girl and it might kind of work. I should have told you before.
Yeah.
I wanted to establish some boundaries just to make everything easier for everybody, you know? Some friends, Alice, Heather, and Xander, were immediately done with Andy, feeling like if he could do that to his best friend, what would he do to them? On the other side, Jasmine, Emily, and Casey thought what Andy did was wrong, but they were closer to Layla and Andy, so they felt telling everyone was unnecessary and that I was spreading their business. Although Emily and Casey also said another point that they wish I would have told them earlier, so I don't know. Apparently to them, when I talked about what happened, they thought I was mostly speculating and just gossiping, but most of what I said was literally straight from Andy's mouth. To me, I feel like if you don't want people to know about your messed up behavior, then don't do messed up things. Okay, see, now we're starting to get to the real meat of it, huh?
Yeah.
You feel hurt. Your feelings are hurt, so you're saying, I want everyone to know that Andy's a bad guy.
Yeah. But now we're being honest.
This is really only two people's business.
Yeah.
Technically three. It's you and Andy and Layla. Eventually, Xander confronted Andy, and Andy tried to shift the blame, making it seem like it wasn't his fault. I respect Xander for standing by me and basically telling Andy he was in the wrong and should back off. This was weeks after the initial conversation, and by then, Andy still hadn't apologized. I told him I was getting my own apartment next year, which after that just solidified the fact that he knew I was hurt. It was kind of hard, too, in these following weeks because we both were kind of known as a duo. So a lot of people would ask me about him or talk to me about him, and I was just speechless, you know? We had one last conversation where he finally apologized, and I basically told him that I can't trust him, and if he was okay putting me in a worse situation for some girl, then I don't know if being friends was the best choice. Here is the cherry on top. I'd experienced similar situations with a friend of mine in high school, and I had shared all of that with Andy. So while he was going behind my back, he knew I had been hurt like this before. Now our friend group is split. I'm no longer friends with Andy, and I'm pretty sure Layla hates me for spreading her business, and I'm not as close with Jasmine, Emily, or Casey anymore. Do you think I overreacted? Comments, you're overreacting. By your own words, you were okay with Layla asking for space. You only cared when you found out Andy liked and hooked up with her. It would be different if you and Layla had any kind of romantic relationship, but you didn't. I guess your jealousy of Andy is more important than your friendship with him. Edit, Layla was upset because the brand new friends she just met didn't make a big deal out of her birthday. She sounds like a lot of drama. You may have gotten the better deal out of this situation, to be honest. Comment 2 says, no bro code, no close-knit friendship. Andy broke the rules. Not your fault at all. Reply is, I disagree. Bro code never applied to dibs. No, dude. OP told Andy about his feels.
Yeah.
It's not about dibs. It's that he needed to go, hey, I value my friendship with you more than a potential hookup with this girl.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask you if it's okay with you first.
Right, because even if it like was a dibs kind of thing, which is already like has weird implications in it, but like even if it was like a dibs thing, like, oh no, I can't do that because my bro said that he could. If he's your real bro, he would understand why that's part of the code.
Right.
Which is exactly what you said.
Exactly.
It's about caring for your bros. It's about love, man.
Yeah, dude. It's my bro means more to me than this girl.
Exactly. But clearly, maybe this wasn't so much the case.
I don't think so. But everyone in this story is young and
so
blinded
young.
by our downstairs brains.
Yeah.
Probably. You know?
Yeah.
But again, now that you've made it the whole group's problem, like there's probably no coming back from this, and it is going to be like a permanent weird vibes.
Yeah.
This comment is completely wrong, but I'm going to read it just for the record. I disagree. Bro code never applied to dibs. OP called dibs on a mutual friend who denied him outright. You can't call dibs on people. Bro code is an ex's thing, not a dibs thing. Andy liked her too. Just because OP liked her and got denied a year earlier doesn't mean she's off limits. That's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Which, as we now know, according to the code, that is totally not true. It's just about being a good friend, dude.
Exactly.
God. This guy's like, actually, according to Article 3, subsection 2 of the bro code, it's like, that's not what the bro code is. The bro code is just like, does that feel like I did a bad thing? Yes.
Right.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Ugh. Comment number 3 is, you sound like a high school child. It's time to grow up. And that is the end of that story.
Wow, that's the end?
Yeah, but if
Well,
you
I
want
don't
to
fully disagree with that last comment. My friend removed me as her maid of honor after everything I did for her.
all of it.
Nearly a year ago, my best friend asked me to be her maid of honor. I was so excited and I said yes and took the task very seriously. By the way, this comes from Sweet Fun 179, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So I've gone dress shopping with her for her dress. I went shopping with her for bridesmaid dresses as well. I spent hours addressing the save the dates with her, kept in contact with her bridesmaids about ordering their dresses and planning jewelry and shoes in the color that she wants. I made sure someone could organize her bridal shower because I was out of state for work for 3 months, making sure that they understood her wishes for the party. I also personally took the time to look through her decor inspo and saved items on Amazon on an Amazon list for her to go through so she could look at affordable options that she wanted to purchase, which she was very happy about. I also want to note I have already planned her bachelorette party and just needed to call and finish the booking process completely as we are a little more than a month out. It's being hosted in a town and a very chill night as she requested. I travel for work and I turned down multiple jobs so that I would be close for her wedding and events if she were to need my help planning these last few months.
Wow.
Whoa, you're rejecting job offers because of this?
Way too much.
That's too much, man. This has resulted in me being out of work for the last 3 months because she was upset that I was going to be out of the state. There have been no jobs close enough to home that made sense, as I'd have to drive back home multiple times during my assignment. But I finally found a job. Hooray! I literally rearranged my career just to be close by to help her. It was a shock to me to receive a very lengthy text this week telling me that she was going to have someone else take over as maid of honor. And she was demoting me to bridesmaids because I told her I may not be able to attend the bridal shower due to work. I could only submit a request for the weekend of her wedding off. I would attend rehearsal, but maybe not rehearsal dinner because I was under the impression that I had to pay for dinner myself and it was at a very expensive restaurant. And because I cannot currently afford to get my nails done the day before the wedding, and I told her I likely won't be attending that event either. Finances are tight with a new house, personal wedding planning, and a baby on the way. She also feels I haven't communicated with her enough, even though I check in at least once a month asking if she needs me. I always end these convos with telling her that she should reach out if something comes up. Also, apparently my texts don't come off as being excited for her, which makes her mad. I guess she feels like I don't want to be involved at all because of these few things, thus her stripping me of the position after I've done all this work. This text also came right after I asked if we could have a backup, learn how to bustle her dress in case my pregnant belly doesn't allow me to bend and squat very well to do it on the wedding day. Apparently, it saddened her that I even asked. She said she needs someone who will be there for all events physically to support her. I feel pretty bummed and disrespected right now, as if nothing I did mattered. I'm considering stepping down completely after this. Would I be the a-hole doing so? And we do have some comments here, but the verdict from the comments are not the a-hole. But let's hear some of those comments. Tutcraft Verk says, wow, massive not the a-hole. You've gone out of your way for this person who you thought was your best friend, and she pissed all over you when you couldn't put 100% of your own life completely on hold to wait on her hand and foot. You are not the a-hole, and I would seriously reconsider whether this is even a friendship. If it were me, I wouldn't go to the wedding at all. Lurker the Pip says, why should you even attend the wedding at this point? She is basically crapping on all of your contributions and effort. Would it not be best to cut your losses and dump the wedding and friend? And we do have an update. I sent a text last night that outlined essentially everything I've done listed here in this post, and I expressed how hurt and disrespected I felt. I told her what I felt a maid of honor is, and that I felt this wasn't it, that it's all basically transactional and based on what more I could offer her. I also included the fact that she hasn't personally communicated with me much either lately about the wedding or my personal life. I politely let her know that I'd be stepping down. Sent over 8 hours ago with no response as of yet. There are some relevant comments. OP says, I want to cry from all of these responses. Thank you all so much. I feel validated in my thoughts and my decision. I thought I was maybe being too hormonal and making a rash choice, but this thread helped solidify everything for me. There's Beans says, before you do anything, I strongly recommend that you carefully consider whether or not you want to retain this friendship. If you step down, you are very likely going to end your friendship. Alternatively, you could try to have an open and honest conversation with her about how you feel and what you've done and go from there. A lot of the time, these things are mere misunderstandings that can be resolved with clear communication. OP says that is very true. I do want to note that I did try to have a conversation about this prior, where she still ended the conversation saying that she would be talking to the replacement maid of honor. I also sent yet another message regarding finances and the events / why I had said no to attending, because when I said probably not in the group messages, she didn't care enough to ask me personally why, just enough to get mad about it. She didn't respond to the one about finances in over 24 hours. And we do have an update from a month later. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
do we think this friendship is lasting?
it sounds like it shouldn't because it sounds toxic, dude.
I guess, yeah. Like if she's trying to talk about her feelings and it's not even being like responded to, then that's like, what is the point? What's
There's
the point?
you're not being seen at all, like as a human.
That's what you
It's just
do
your
with
own
your friends.
person.
Talk about
Like-
your feelings.
Like, can you imagine, you have a wedding and you tell your friend who's like, oh, I have this job opportunity. Like, you can't do that.
What? You can't. You're going to be so far away from me
and
my parties.
And they're like, yeah, but this job would be great. And you're like, I'm sorry. Do you hate me?
Yeah.
Like,
and maybe they do just have a different view of what a maid of honor is, because that's what another thing that she said, like in this text, like, this is how I see a maid of honor. I don't think that you're treating me that way. It's not transactional, but maybe the bride thinks it is. But we do have an update from 1 month later. I sent a long text to my friend 2 days after my original post. The text was outlining everything that I've done for her and why I felt disrespected in her decision to demote me from maid of honor so close to the wedding date. I also was sure to tell her that I have lost a lot financially in trying to be a good friend and stay close for her wedding and events like she had wanted. I ended the message telling her that I still want her to enjoy her day and I don't want it too full of any drama or bitterness, so I felt it best that I stepped down from it all. It took 2 full days for her to respond. We went back and forth quite a bit, with her telling me the additional reasons for demoting me were because I hadn't been texting her enough and asking her about her personal life, / I wasn't excited enough in my messages about the wedding, etc.
dude, hire me. Give me a salary.
Right.
Like, you want me to be your personal wedding cheerleader and put my entire life on hold for that? You gotta give me some moolah.
That's really interesting, because I could understand not choosing someone in the first place for maid of honor because maybe they're just not that close to me. They don't ask about me that much. And they're not that excited for me when I get married or like when I get engaged.
Yeah.
But if you're choosing someone to be your maid of honor and then they aren't as excited as you thought, it's like, wasn't there a good friendship there to begin with? Essentially, she felt I was more concerned with my own life currently with pregnancy and finding a job than I was with her wedding. And oh my goodness, that is crazy. But you should be more concerned with the fact that we have full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. Put your job and your pregnancy on hold.
Put your entire life on hold because I need you to listen to this. And if you don't, you hate me.
Hate me and you will be demoted. But it's okay. We'll always welcome you back.
Well, no, I can't even.
Actually,
You're
no.
not
That's
demoted. I'm giving you a raise right now.
Actually, yeah, you're going to be raised. You're actually not going to be my maid of honor. You're going to be the groom.
Technically, you guys are really the boss of all of us. You're promoted to the CEO.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a little bit more to the story, but ouch, man.
Yeah,
she felt I was more concerned with my own life.
Yeah, that's insane. I would really. It's time to step back from this friendship.
A wedding is just a big party. I know it's really big. It's a really cool moment for everyone. It's a cool moment in your life. And other people are there to support you. Mm-hmm. It's not a cool moment in their life. I mean, maybe a little bit. Hopefully they're excited about it, but not in the way that a pregnancy is.
Certainly not.
It's crazy.
It's like destroy your whole life for my wedding. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like they're not going to look back when OP has her child. She's not going to look back at her pregnancy and be like, wow, remember that time that my friend got married? That was the best part of being pregnant. Not the fact that I'm growing a child.
She's going to say the reason you turned out so great is because when I was pregnant with you, I was the maid of honor at my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
And all of her energy must have seeped into my womb.
Exactly. There is a little bit more to the story. Let's wrap this up. There were a lot of pity me messages from her, and after reiterating that I no longer wanted to be in the wedding at all, I stopped replying. I haven't heard from her in over 3 weeks. I've returned my bridesmaid dress, and I feel so at peace with my decision.
Yes.
I don't think I'll be attending the wedding at all.
Yes.
Thank you for all the well wishes for my pregnancy and baby as well. We found out last week it's a boy. Congratulations.
Boy.
I also start my new job this week, so time to get my finances back back on track and try to fix the mess that has been created in the area before the baby is here. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Good for you, OP. Finally prioritizing yourself, because holy crap, man.
Yes, truly.
That's crazy.
You're like, and I'm at peace with this decision. I imagine you like in the Nirvana pose, like birds are landing on your hands and your shoulders, and
There's
you're just
music playing.
completely at ease with your decision.
That is the end of that story.